Welcome back, everybody, to another episode here at Just Dolan. Today we're going to be continuing Higurashi when they cried, Chapter 1, Onikakushi Hen, except after we read this tip, we're going to be moving right on into Chapter 2. So, I hope you guys are all hyped for that. Last time, we finished our school day and teased Rena a lot and found out she's a martial arts master, and I guess we're having a picnic. But first we're going to read this tip. So without further ado, let's go. We don't have a uniform. It's only June, but it's already so hot. Also, I forgot to look up that thing that I said at the last episode, to figure out if there's a tell for who's talking. Because I'm an idiot. I forgot to look it up. I'll do it after this one, if I remember. Actually, you know what? Alexa, set reminder.
What's the reminder for?
Look up thing, Higurashi tell thing.
When should I remind you?
In 30 minutes.
Okay, I'll remind you in 30 minutes.
So handy. I could hear the Higurashi outside chirping. Me. And at night there are mosquitoes. It might as well be summer already. Mom spaghetti. My only salvation was that the mornings were still cool. Summer, I do declare. Satoko was flapping her skirt languidly. Languidly, huh? That's a new one. That's pretty unladylike there. Even if she was a little brat, she was still a girl. Wow. Sexist, huh? Keiichi does seem quite cool with just a single button-up shirt. I'm so jealous. From how I see things, the skirt you're wearing looks like it would be much cooler. A girl like you just wouldn't understand wearing jeans during this season and how steamy the crotch gets. How steamy the crotch gets. It gets steamy. Oh. This girl's gone imagining something indecent. Rena's summer clothes have a nice refreshing color. I feel cooler just looking at them. Thank you. They really do feel pretty cool. I do wish my summer clothes were as breezy as Rena's. But Satoko-chan, your summer clothes are cute, being a one-piece and all. I'd like to wear your summer clothes. This is actually quite stuffy, you know. I do believe what you're wearing would feel much cooler. Yeah, okay, we've said this 4 times. But it would be so much... But it would be so much more fun with your cute clothes, huh? I had a feeling that Rena and Satoko's base values were fundamentally different. Speaking of which, our school doesn't have a uniform. Yeah, it doesn't. As long as they're proper, then regular clothes are just fine. God, I need a sip of water. I can, hear that my voices are kind of melding to be the same right now, and that's uncool. There are quite a few students in regular clothes. There are a few wearing uniforms, but they were all the same design and rather plain. What's the uniform they're all wearing? They're all the same. That's the city school's uniform. It's not like there's a rule, but they're all wearing them. Speaking of which, everybody in our group is wearing a different uniform, aren't we? Did you go out of your way to get them from somewhere? Why yes, Mion-san supplied them. Mi-chan's relative runs a second-hand clothing store. They can get school clothes from all over the country for cheap, they say. So you asked one of those relatives to get a bunch of unique school uniforms then. That Mion, she probably loves using her friends as dress-up dolls. Yeah, probably, actually. I could see it. That must be a strange second-hand clothing store. I get that it's a second-hand clothing store, but stocking clothes from schools all over the country? That's pretty strange for a second-hand clothing store. What's the point in stocking up clothes from faraway schools they know nothing about? Yeah, I think so too. They also have used school swimsuits and PE uniforms. I don't like the idea of using used ones. It sounds like that shop doesn't make much money. They probably have Mion pitch in and help so they can make a bit more. But Mion says it'll be a big hit and become a great store. with such conviction. A second-hand clothing store that stocks school uniforms will be a big hit. I don't get it. I mean, I don't either. It really doesn't make that much sense. But anyway. Let's go ahead and save the game again one more time. And then continue. Those tip things are neat. That information was completely unnecessary, though. The school uniform thing. I guess it's just because I wasn't thinking too hard about it, because I'm a filthy American who doesn't have school uniforms at his schools that he went to, so. I took it a little too easy on the morning of my day off. I was totally late. Today was the day Rena and Mion were going to show me around Hinamizawa. Rena and Mion were already waiting at the meeting place. Kei-chan, you're late! Sorry, the show I was watching last night was really interesting. Blame that. Oh, so that's your excuse for being late and keeping two girls waiting. Mi-chan, you just got here yourself. Ah ha ha ha! Last night's episode of A Day in the Life of was interesting, wasn't it? She was just as guilty as me. Rena was carrying a pretty heavy-looking handbag. What is that? Mion answered my unspoken question with a wink. That's right, Rena really did make a picnic. Kei-chan, after you left, Rena pulled out all the stops. It's not like I forced her to do it. The way that you randomly said it's not like you forced her to do it makes me think you forced her to do it. It was nothing, so don't worry about it, okay? She's been like this since last night, you know? Can't you take responsibility for this? Alright. I'm a man after all. I'll take responsibility. Huh? Responsibility for what? For what? As we both turned around slowly to look at Rena, our gazes drifted downward to the massive handbag she was carrying. It didn't seem logically feasible that it would be entirely filled with lunchboxes, except this was Rena we were talking about. About 2 kilos, I guess? When Rena was picking it up, I could see she was struggling a bit. I say 5. You're exaggerating. Keiichi-kun is a boy, after all. I thought he could probably eat a lot, so I made a lot, okay? Let's get going. Heave-ho. Just from the way she was lifting it up, I couldn't believe the only things in there were lunchboxes. Correction. I say 5 kilos, too. I'll help out, but all of it needs to be eaten. I won't forgive you if you make Rena sad, got it? The only thing I could do at that moment was exercise a bit to make myself hungrier. Fuck that noise. Dude, I could eat so much food. If someone did that for me, I'd be like, you're damn right, it's gone. We don't need company, I'll fucking eat all of it. I got an appetite of steel. Appetite of steel. Appetite of adamantium. Appetite of vibranium. Appetite of... Why am I comparing appetites to metals? What is wrong with me? Having finished with the pleasantries, we began our leisurely stroll. A carefree walk, bathed in the gentle morning sunlight. I couldn't have even imagined something so wholesome existing during my time in the city. These were the boonies, after all. No slovenly desk jockeys trudging to work on their weekends out here. It really was a nice place, peaceful and quiet. As sparsely populated as the village was, you could still run into people just by walking around. Ah, good day. Good day. Oh, you would be Mayabara-kun, I believe. My 2 companions... Oh, wait. Yeah, no, these are just random people. My 2 companions exchanged greetings with everybody we ran across. All of these passerby even knew my name. When did I become this famous? We passed 3 people, and when all 3 of them knew me, I started to feel a bit paranoid. Ahaha! It's a bit sad to say. Everyone knows everyone since there's so few people here in Hinamizawa. So that means when an unfamiliar face walks by, they automatically assume it's that Mayabara fellow who just moved here? Yeah, that's pretty much it. It was a process of elimination that you can only pull off in a place like this. It was quite effective. Yo, relatable. I got my new job. Well, it's not new anymore. I've been working on my job for the last 7 months now. Well, 8 months now, about. When I started, I knew my boss's name and like 2 of my coworkers' names. And Every motherfucker in that building knew who I was. Nobody introduced themselves, though. They were just like, hey, Dylan, can you do this? Hey, Dylan, what's up? Hey, Dylan, we have this that you gotta do. Hey, Dylan, how's your day been? Oh, hey, Dylan. Hey, Dylan, what's up? And I'm like, look, I don't want to ask every single person to introduce themselves if they're not going to. And so I didn't. And I still only know a few people's names. I've been there for 8 months. True story. Anyway, from now on, I'd better make sure to maintain a good rep. The day I'm discovered accidentally gawking at a dirty magazine in a bookstore, I can expect all the villagers labeling me as a lech by the next day. Hinamizawa is not to be trifled with. That's not the end of this nightmare. Of course I know them. Wait, what? Oh, of course I know that. Wait, did I miss something? Of course I know them. The first person we met was old man Takazo from the Makino bike shop. His hobbies are bonsai and playing the flute. Next we met the grocer's second son, Daisuke-kun. His hobbies is sharpshooting and he hopes to be an ace sniper in the future. And the person we just met was Mio-san, the nurse from the clinic. Her hobbies are birdwatching and photography. You know the names of everyone we pass by, and even their profiles? Oh, that was someone else talking. Whatever. Seeing my surprise, Mion and Rena exchanged looks and burst into laughter. Well, yeah. We're not like the city where people hardly know the neighbors. Then let's try it out. You there, who am I? You're Keiichi Maibara. You say some mean things, but you're actually a kind, shy person. It's been 3 weeks since you transferred here. Your hobby's taking afternoon naps. Lately you switched over to wearing boxes. Didn't you? That's enough, that's enough. But boxers? Enough of that. Apparently there's absolutely nothing you can keep hidden here. Hinamizawa is not a place to be trifled with. That's really random. This feels more like you guys are showing me off rather than showing me around. That's right. We're parading around like this after all. Don't you all think so too? That Kei-chan is fitting right in here in Hinamizawa. The population in Hinamizawa is shrinking, so the villagers welcome anybody that's new here. I thought about brushing it off with something to the effect of, "You're kidding me," but I held back. Had I ever greeted someone who had just moved into the city like this before? Thinking about that made me believe what they said wasn't a joke at all. We passed another person. Of course, we were called out to, again, the same way. Oh my, good day. It's wonderful seeing you getting along. This lady here is Fujishima-san. Good day. Oh my, Maibara-kun. How wonderful I am for you. How wonderful for you having a lovely girl on each arm. How are you? Getting used to life here? Instead of regurgitating a prepared response like I would have in the city, I responded with an emphatic nod. The old woman chuckled, voicing her appreciation of how energetic I was. Good. As I looked back over to Ren and Mio, and they gave me a wink. So now then, about time to have lunch, maybe? Rena's brilliant smile signaled the approach of an event that both Mion and I were trying to forget. Wow. We both looked at each other. I'm a man, I'll do what I can. But if it's just too much... But it's just too much. Okay, I just read it wrong. It's fine, Kei-chan. Leave this to an old man. Mion has never seemed as reliable as she does right now. I expect no less from the class representative. Rena, if we're going to eat, we might as well go somewhere with a good view. Yes. Good idea, I agree. Rena nodded her head happily in response to Mion's proposal. Oh, that was Mion speaking! Great! Alright. Moving on! I really do like these visuals. I really like the way that the art is drawn. Cresting the top of a stone stairway, a shrine drawn straight out of my imagination appeared before us. It had worn down a bit through the years, but the fallen leaves had been swept up, giving it a tidy feeling. This here is the Furude Shrine. It's probably the place with the best view around. This place, be sure to remember it. On our next break, a festival will be held here. Ah, isn't it a bit too early in the season for a festival? The Watanagashi isn't a summer festival. Long ago, it used to be a celebration of the end of winter. I was embarrassed for assuming that the festivals had to be held in the summer. Now then, spread out the lunchboxes, and there. Various colored lunchboxes were placed one after the other on top of the plastic sheet. Sure did smell delicious. It was Rena's home cooking. Went without saying that it would be delicious. But is it even possible to finish all of this? Hey, Mion. It'll take more than just a good view to get all this down, you know. Oh. Okay, we have more people. Ugh. Good afternoon. It was Rika-chan and Satoko. Why are they here? Mion grinned over at me. I see, this was their secret plan to power in numbers. You have my thanks, Mion. Following up when all the pieces are in place is my specialty. We just had to come since there was such a commotion. What is the meaning of this? Take a look. It's time for lunch, buffet style. A handmade gourmet meal by Rena. I could see that much. Why have you laid out a tarp on our property? The temple is public grounds, it's not yours. Keiichi's right. This is everyone's property. Wow, Rika-chan is such a good girl. Have a seat. Eat with us. After opening up a spot for Rika-chan, I probably turned my back on Satoko. Hold on 1 second. Where's my spot? No spot for you and nothing for you to eat. Don't worry, there's some for you too. None, I'll eat all of hers. I will not allow that. Rika! Here, chopsticks. Both Satoko and I leapt at the boxes, having it out with each other. Man, really? Kei-chan, you're really good at leading people on. You might have a talent for this. Have a plate. One for Mi-chan and Rika-chan too. Rena whipped out pairs of chopsticks and paper plates. If we don't hurry, it'll be all eaten up. That's right, okay. Shall we commence this battle? Please eat a lot. There's enough for everyone, Rena said as she opened up a thermos. Just then I realized that this lunch was made under the assumption that 5 people would be eating. It didn't change how much there was, but the implication behind it was different. Wow! I will not allow you to have this hamburger. BAM! Using your elbow is against the rules, Satoko. Grabbing the back of my collar is also against the rules. It was a tough battle, blocking with her full momentum and an elbow in the opening moves. Satoko appeared to have the upper hand, but the difference in our proficiency with chopsticks proved to be fatal and gave me the upper hand. Hashtag proficiency in chopsticks. The fuck? Ah, that's the last meatball! Satoko Hojo has been bested! That's Sharna's favorite thing. Satoko and I amiably began choking at the same time, falling backwards and spasming. Wow, okay, that's pretty hardcore. Rika-chan petted me on the head to clear it, even though it was actually stuck in my throat. Oh, you're actually choking. Got it. Seeing that made Rena blush and breathe heavily in excitement. It was almost like flowers were floating all around her. Mion advised Rena to refrain from saying anything that could get her locked up. This is how our meals usually go. I'd do anything in my power, just so things could stay like this. Choking miserably on meatballs. Forever. Hashtag meatball life. The intense battle calmed, and finally everyone reached a point where they could begin talking. Receiving tea from the thermos, I let out a small sigh. I do wonder why there are so few words in Japanese to praise how something tastes. Isn't it because the idea of togetherness during a meal didn't begin until the modern era? Wow, that just popped right off, right? It seems that long ago people ate in silence. It must have been the people preparing the food a bit... It must have made the people preparing the food a bit sad, don't you think? It's probably because back then people were busy even while eating and didn't have the time to compliment the flavor. That's just you. But you know, just hearing that it's good makes me happy. That my effort was worth it, I mean. She blushed a little as she said that. It was delicious. With absolutely perfect timing, Rika-chan struck Rena directly with praise. She looked straight at her with an expression of bewitching innocence. Or wait. Ow! Ow? After Rena uttered an unintelligible noise, a ring of smoke rose from her head with an audible poof. Oh, Rika-chan, I'm gonna take you home. No, I mean, thank you. It really was delicious. Rena flushed red with excitement, embracing it really was delicious. Rena-chan flushed red with excitement, embracing Rika-chan and rubbing her cheek against hers so hard you could almost hear it. There you go, guys. Given the game sound effects. To reward Rika-chan for her praise. Ta-da! These are special. 2 apple rabbits. After sticking toothpicks into them, she thrust them towards Rika-chan. After Rika-chan accepted them, the mood suddenly shifted in a bizarre way. What is it, Satoko? What's with that defiant look? Has everyone prepared proper praise to receive apples from Rena-san? Don't push yourself. What kind of praise can you think up with your weak vocab? Ho, well then, allow me to show you. After Satoko flashed Mion and me a defiant look, she changed the tone of her voice suddenly. Hey. Wait. Hey, so, Reno and Echan's lunch. Satoko thought it was yummy too. Satoko looked up at her poutily while talking cutesily. What? How is that praise? That's not even persuasion by tears. That's persuasion by cuteness, isn't it? This is a Reina limited special skill. She blushed and her head spun, waving around in circles. Did it now. Don't fall for it, Reina. Of course, that was asking for the impossible. Rena... That word should not exist. Rena glomped Satoko and began rubbing her cheek against her. Cute! Satoko is so cute. Take you home, huh? Swish, stab, push. Satoko was also presented with apple rabbits. After stuffing them into her mouth, she looked over at Mion and me again with that defiant gaze. It only took 5 seconds to take down Reina. That's unfair to think she had such a trick. I like how they're just making it into a game. If it upsets you so much, why not reward Renaissance with some praise? Damn it. This was a dirty trick. First of all, that wasn't even praise. We already said that, Keiichi. Satoko! You think you've won with that, don't you? How about I show you guys something much better than your superficial gimmicks? That sounds great, Mion. What kind of trick is it? Kei-chan is gonna be the one who does it. What? Oh, why don't I have you show me then? The writhing of an old maid. What? What? The plan of attack she suggested was wicked. But it was the only thing we had to beat Satoko. After sipping my tea, I started talking, very naturally and calmly. Perfectly. It really is good, isn't it? This is all freshly made, right? No. Actually, most of it, almost all of it was frozen stuff. Then which ones did you make fresh? Well... It's embarrassing, do I really have to say? Must I? From the synergy of boy plus handmade lunchbox, her expression had melted into euphoria. I already know. This one, right? Uh-huh. Rena turned an even deeper shade of red, the words, "I can't believe it," practically written on her face. "How can you tell? How? That I made it?" Of course, Mion had told me beforehand. It's been perfect so far. After acting like I was shy, I waited a beat. Next would be the finisher. The finisher. Oh god. It had your smell. Silence enveloped the area. Rena, face still completely red, froze solid. With a small yelp, Satoko also blushed. Of course, I did too. I sure would like to try one of Rena's handmade apple rabbits. Or something. Even if this was all because I was competing against Satoko, it felt like I'd crossed the line by a good 9 yards, I think. Then, at that moment, whoosh! It was like a Tupperware container filled with rabbits. "Papa, please eat some, Keiichi-kun. There's plenty for you." What? Instantly, dozens of apples were shoved in my mouth, knocking me over. Okay, so say ah. Okay, so say ah, Keiichi-kun. My head was forcibly laid upon her lap, and even more apples were shoved into my mouth, while she was squealing one after another. It was forced into my mouth, more and more apples. How about them apples, Satoko? Looks like we win. Kei-chan, that was a beautiful sacrifice. How's that, Satoko? This is our complete victory, isn't it? I can't believe it. Such trickery. It doesn't bother me at all. Satoko ground her teeth, mortified. We did it. I claimed victory as my consciousness drifted slowly away from me. At that time, Rena stopped her squealing as she suddenly realized something. Rika-chan, you're not eating it. Did the salt water make it too strong, maybe? Looking over, Rika-chan had pulled the toothpick out of the apple rabbit, placed it into her cupped hands, and seemed to be at a loss for what to do. Poor Mr. Rabbit, I feel sorry for him. I want to save him. That was the sound of blood splurting from Rena's nose. Oh, okay. Cute. Tonight I will take you home. She shook sporadically, her head wobbling back and forth. Then, coming to her senses, she took all of the apples around me, gathered them up with a flip, and fixed them back up on a plate. Now they're all just fine, Kei. Here, I'll give them to you, Rika-chan, Kei? Rika-chan raised up Satoko's hand like a referee after having that plate of rabbits shoved to her. She whispered, "This is our victory." Get wrecked. What? A comeback? How? I just don't care anymore. Thus, my sacrifice ended up being in vain. I guess we'll call that an episode. Wow. Alright. You know, I'm glad I'm reading this out loud because it's more funny to me. If I'd read that all in my head, I would not be laughing so hard. I'm really enjoying this game right now, you guys. It's fun. Even if it's a bit over-the-top anime bullshit like silliness, it's still fun. I'm enjoying it. I hope you guys are too. I guess next time we're gonna maybe do something a little less zany. If I remember anything about this arc from the show, things are gonna get a little bit more real soon. So look forward to that, guys. And without further ado, I guess we're just gonna cut off here. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your night, and peace.